My name is Jason, and welcome to Just Power Washing Stuff. Today I invited my friend Eric. Eric has been a close friend I've known since 2019, and a very mysterious being, I must say. And here we get to unveil some of those mysteries. Or at least the mysteries that he's comfortable revealing. He's a great example of a person that's quiet at first, but then once you get to know him, you get to see more of his personality. And I relate to that quite a lot. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to Just Power Washing Stuff. We all know that the series is not original in the slightest, but I figured it'd be an interesting idea nonetheless. Today I'm here with Eric, if you'd like to give a bit of an introduction.
No.
Okay then. For those that didn't know, he's appeared in several videos and streams of mine, and is usually seen arguing with Patrick or arguing with Nat. So the first question that I have for you is where did the name Dapper Ratman come from?
I like fancy looking creatures. I like animals that dress up nice and sharp.
As
It's
for the rat
essentially the
part?
same with I like rats. It's essentially the same with like every other username I've gone on in Discord. I just found a picture of an animal that I liked in a costume and then just made that my user.
Yeah, so it started off with the lizard and then
Well, then
eventually
start
with the
off with
rat.
the lizard. Well, not with the lizard. I've been on Discord for a while with we'll call them the lads for now. And essentially, there are a bunch of animals that I enjoyed. I took those and then made those my name. And then I found the lizard one and ended up sticking with that one.
And what had given you the idea to go with the Ratman eventually?
I like rats, essentially. That was it.
More than lizards?
No, I like them equally.
Was there something about the rat especially that had stuck out to you?
I like rats and clothes.
You know what? That's fair. Is there any lore that you can give behind the Ratman that has been invented?
Uh, he's there, you know. He's watching.
Another thing I'll ask is that since there have been like multiple times that you've missed with that you would just pull the legs of me and many others that we play with. What had shaped that side of you?
What
The
just
trollish side.
Yeah, I was gonna say the tormenting people. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Like were there montages of that kind of thing that you'd see previously and get inspired to do something similar and see how fun it would be?
No, not really. Even before all of that, I just like running around and messing with people. It was funny.
With a good example being Black Ops 2 gun game
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Well, for gun game, yeah, the montages uh kind of well, when I did it to you guys last time we played, it wasn't because of a montage I remember. It's just because I cannot aim for shit. So I just default to trying to stab people since it's easier, and even then I still can't hit them.
Well, I didn't mean just the most recent game. Like had the knife trolling thing always been a thing with you ever since you had played Black Ops 2 for the first time?
No, when I first played Black Ops 2, I don't even remember how long ago that was.
Really?
I yeah, I've never tried doing multiplayer, and since I've been playing it on the 360. I don't remember if it was like when it released or like months after, but I never really got into multiplayer all that much. The zombies though I did, mostly because it was something that I could actually do instead of trying to match other people's skills and just get absolutely murdered.
So lag would be much less of an issue with zombies then.
Yes.
I see. Fair enough. Well, I've asked the perspective of others on this before, so I figured I might as well ask you, how much of an impact has the recent trip to where where me and a few others at have been last year?
No, it was fun. I got to see everybody again. I got to see Nat in person for the first time. That was cool. It
Yeah,
was
it
just,
certainly sounds cool.
yeah, it was just great, seeing everybody again. Since being out here, you don't really get to do that as much.
Yeah, it's not something that yeah, being able to do a lot of those things with you guys is not something I've been able to do as much either. Well, I live closer, but
Yeah, you're just
just
busy with other things.
I'm busy with other things, and a lot of the time, a lot of the time it's usually someone like Jeffrey who will initiate things like that.
Yeah, he's the more sociable.
I was about to say he is. I would say he is a lot more sociable than me or Josh.
Hmm.
I'm more used to like starting some kind of gathering on Discord and things like that.
Hmm.
But if I'm like offered an opportunity to do stuff elsewhere, then I'm like, oh, I don't get to do these very often, so sure.
Yeah, that's how it usually is for me as well. I don't really uh, get to do much.
Like those kinds of things are not the first thing on your mind,
Well, that and also I don't really get an opportunity to.
really.
Yeah, outside of our outside of our friend group, I don't really have much.
Might as well also ask, how how was it being able to meet Nat in person for the first time?
No, that was great. It was really great being able to see her in person and just I don't really know how to word it or describe it. It was just a wonderful thing.
It certainly sounded like it was quite a wonderful thing.
Mm.
I don't blame you for not knowing what words to go with. So I imagine it must have been like that great of a special thing to happen to the point where it's like hard to put into words.
Oh yeah.
This is what's not usually seen that outside of the outside of the times that you'd usually see him just mess with her all the time on stream and on my stream. Also, I did not realize how short of a level this actually was.
No, yeah. It's one of the first levels, so it's gonna be relatively quick to finish.
I I thought I remembered it being longer for some reason. Give me 1 second to break my own rule and select a spare one. Yeah, that kind of thing is usually not seen because a lot of the time I think it's understandable that kind of thing being shown like 24/7 is not really anyone's business.
No.
People have different ways of expressing that kind of thing. Like to everyone else will be as they'll be like at each other's throats and just like one will troll the other
Hmm.
with like behind the scenes there's genuine stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a big contrast of like them seeing like two people seeming perfect for each other on the outside and then like nothing but arguments when no one's looking. That definitely paints a different picture.
Hmm.
So if people seem like a dysfunctional couple on the outside but actually really love each other on when uh when like no one else witnesses it, I'm not one to like immediately judge that kind of thing, but as long as there's actually a good enough reason that they've continued saying together, like there's actually something, then I usually
Mm,
have no problem with usually have no problem with that whatsoever.
yeah.
Because like with you guys, I know you two well enough.
Mm.
I know beyond just the many times that you'd say happy birthday when it's no one's birthday. Or I think mentioning I think at one point mentioning the word bunger, but I think that was just a case of you joining in. You didn't even start that. That, that was her
No, I'm
roommate
pretty sure that.
mentioning, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just her bringing up the fact that she doesn't like that, and I was just like repeating the word because it was just such an absurd word to me.
Oh, you mean the word bunger? That word? And even with that story, that it is it does it does get funny hearing about how it was how it was some kid in her school that just kept saying bunger and how ever since that word was ruined for her.
Hmm.
Just a non-stop record. On the episode that Patrick had, he had talked about how the two of you met, and I'm curious to know if you'd like to share a little bit of your perspective from that.
I don't remember much of it, but first day of school, freshman year, it was just I was just waiting for class to start, waiting outside the classroom, waiting for the teacher to show up, and that's where I met the other two, as he mentioned, Dane and Joaquin, and then they spoke to me first, which usually tends to happen since I don't really talk to a lot of people unless they speak to me first.
Right.
So we started talking, and then we started hanging out a bit uh, in class, and then sometime later, Patrick ends up coming in, and then the four of us started talking, and eventually we started playing some games together. That was pretty much it.
Yeah. From what I hear from Patrick, the the class was not very good.
Oh no! At first, when the teacher was there, we were attempting to learn something, and then the teacher had something happen to her. I'm not sure what it was. It was probably some kind of surgery. I'm not sure what, but she was just gone throughout the rest of the school year. So we were just stuck with nothing but substitutes. And then we just, I don't think they really cared too much what we were being taught. They did the bare minimum of like giving us things to do. And then eventually it was just like every other day was just like uh, a, some educational movie or some episode of whatever they thought was interesting at the time.
And they're really not helping the case for for American education there.
There never really was one.
This is one I've had like mainly out of my curiosity since while you were over here, you had you'd introduced me to the docu series involving the Three Stooges, and I'm curious to know how you found that out.
Uh, I don't remember exactly. I think I saw it when I was just scrolling through Reels, and I saw like a clip from it, and I thought, this sounds pretty interesting. I'll give it a watch.
I have to wonder if it had been through the Three Stooges Instagram account.
It might have been actually.
Yeah, because I find it interesting how that official account has been able to shorten some of the clips and edit them into clips on reels and introducing them to even wider of an audience.
Hmm.
Like just recently, I remember seeing stuff like Curly mentality, Larry mentality, Shemp mentality, Mo mentality. Like I'm not one to seek the all those kinds of like mentality videos myself, but I find it interesting how they're able to put them in that format,
Mm,
make it like a compilation of that kind of thing.
yeah.
And ever since you had told me about that while you're here, it's been like quite an interesting find.
Mm,
I think even since then, like any before any plans had started, I pretty much would keep up to date with like almost I think it was about 2 episodes a day.
mm,
Just like in the morning while everyone was still getting up, there I would be like after my visit to the gym, just watching 2 episodes. I'm also curious to know since since you have regularly appeared on net streams, did you ever thought about getting into stream or just leaving yourself as like a recurring guest on her streams? Well,
yeah, I've thought
not
about
guest,
it
but
before.
not guest, but just like a regular, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I have thought about it before doing it myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I realized there was a problem with that. And it's the fact that, like, when I'm by myself, I just don't ever talk.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure both Nat and I would definitely relate to that. So her having you on stream also works out for her.
Hmm. Yeah, because I can't really, I can't really do anything if it involves me, like, trying to do anything by myself. It just, I'm usually a quiet person.
Like you usually require another person to bounce off of.
Hmm.
It makes a lot of sense. This is why like I've barely done any streams where it's just myself. Sometimes I will,
Hmm.
but then I'll get overwhelmed by the fact that it's just me.
Hmm.
Even like reading any message in chat that is like my last resort. I mean, I'll
Hmm.
read chat regularly anyways, but a lot more if it's just by myself because I'll still require something to bounce off of.
Yeah, because with me, um, I can't really think of anything to say when I'm by myself, which might stem from the fact that, like, growing up, I never really conversed with a lot of people, especially in school. I tended to just mind my own business.
Oh, I see. I can definitely relate to that because like when I was in, I think it was like up until seventh grade that I decided to switch to homeschooling. Before that, I was still a little bit more kept to myself, but other than that, when I got into homeschool, then then it would be a lot harder for me to speak with others because
Mhm.
there would be not very used to just like unfamiliar with that environment.
Yeah, because with me, I just do tend to mind my own business most of the time. I don't know. I feel safer, I suppose, in that way.
Like you're not aware of what could happen if you were to initiate that.
Yeah, because I don't really like starting something unless I get a read on what it's like when people talk to me first, and then a slight conversation happens, and then I get to see how the conversation's gonna end up being and what's all right to say and what isn't.
Yeah, like you'd have to get a read on the other person first to know whether or not it'd be safe to go in a particular direction.
Because I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I had a neighbor who I used to hang out with a lot, and then he ended up moving away. I don't, sometime I want to say in middle school. We went to different schools. I went to public school. I think he, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he went to a Catholic school.
Ah,
And then we lost touch after he'd moved out. And then any other, I did have other friends, but eventually we ended up growing apart too. And then in middle school is where I met three of people that I would end up still knowing today. And those would, well, I wouldn't really know them if I hadn't had to repeat the seventh grade. But the three people that I met and still know are Drew, Josh, and Stick.
a trio that not many get to see. Well, well, on the outside, but whenever the trio would gather, there would be times that Nat would show up, and the rare time that I would show up. 'Cause I think one of the few times was when we managed to set up plutonium World at War for Stick, so he could join you, me, and Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at one point, that just led to me showcasing a perfect cell voice. I don't even remember what it was for.
I don't either.
I just know that sometimes it would involve the usual silly voices that I do, and sometimes out of pocket stuff,
Yeah.
as usual. Stick had actually talked to me about the idea of one day streaming. I think it was BioShock, or was it BioShock
Mm-hmm.
Infinite? One of those games.
Yeah, I think it might be Infinite. I'm not sure. Because with him, he usually likes to do things, I want to say orderly, mostly, if they're working.
And Infinite was first.
I think, no, I think it was just Bioshock that was first. I think Infinite came after.
I mean, like timeline wise.
Oh, I'm not sure, actually.
I think one of the few appearances they made on the channel before was like once in a game of TF2 from way back when we brought him to
Mm.
the TF2 hotel map,
Oh, yeah.
which had that one death trap that a lot of us nicknamed the white people dimension. And then his appearance in Twitch chat from the FNAF 3 stream,
Oh, yeah.
which because of the events prior, that has now been what I've associated Gale from Baldur's Gate 3 with. Just the fact that there was a game of Baldur's Gate 3 before the stream going on. Now I just keep being petty towards Gale for hogging all the attention.
Well, we were in the middle of a boss fight when it happened, and we thought we were going to be done with it by the time you start, but we just kept dying over and over, and we just wanted that thing dead.
I was dying over and over too. What about my
Yeah,
needs?
yeah, but your needs are minor in the terms of trying to kill a giant spider that keeps poisoning you and summoning like children to kill you.
I was surviving with a child killer. Is that not good
Yeah, but
enough?
yeah, but that's a man. That's not a spider.
You know, I suppose you're right there. It's not something like it after all.
Yeah,
Which I
exactly.
think
See,
which I think according to the movie at least is a spider, but I think it's supposed to be like what everyone like the biggest fear possible, but in the movie is in the original miniseries it's just like a giant spider.
well, his true self is the three floating lights. He just takes form of what most people find spooky. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know too much on the lore of funny clown, space turtle, soap opera.
Because like my introduction to the movie, besides a besides like years ago a watch together of part one, I had mainly seen the Nostalgia Critics review of it and
I mean, it
how
could be
his riff
worse.
against the large spider moment was his character Dr. Smith showing up. I don't know if it was his character, but some character named Dr. Smith showing up and being like, "Spiders, a giant legion of spiders."
Well, I mean, it could have been worse. They could have adapted a really terrible scene.
Oh no, I think I know what scene you might be talking about.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what has been like the go-to game for you and the lads.
Uh,
'Cause I've had the understanding that it tends to be co-op stuff.
yeah. Our uh, we tend to play games where we can all be a part of 4-player co-op games usually,
And zombies
and
happen to fit quite well with that.
oh yeah, our go-to games are usually TF2 and Left 4 Dead.
Oh, really? Left 4 Dead is included in the mix.
Yeah, we d- we do a lot of Left 4 Dead 2 because it's really stupid with all the the mods with that game.
Yeah, I imagine it with the mods. It can also be sometimes a pain to set up.
No, the only pain that you gotta worry about for that is whether or not you have two mods that aren't compatible with each other.
Yeah, I think that was the issue that I was thinking of when there's like a whole game of Django with the mods. There just
Yeah,
so
that's when
happens
you
to
got
be a couple that don't work well with each other.
yeah, you gotta be careful with what works and what doesn't. But it's usually not that bad unless you find something that's doesn't work with another for some weird reason.
Yeah, that's when it can get tricky. As long as you know what you're doing and you don't end up turning the search for mods into window shopping that gets completely out of control, you should be good to go.
That's the best part.
Just seeing how many mods will work and how many will conflict with each other.
Exactly.
See how long it takes to toy with that when setting up the server just to play the Journey to Splash Mountain campaign from the workshop. Have you played that one before?
Oh yeah, it's probably one of my favorite maps to play. Journey to Splash Mountain.
Oh yeah, same here. One thing I always liked about that is the first time that I played that one, and when I discovered when I discovered the tiki room, and it actually made Francis say, "I hate birds." Like, I like how they were able to do that, as
Oh
as
yeah.
well as as well as making them scream when the log on Splash Mountain would go down.
Hmm.
That's such a nice touch.
Yeah, there's a lot of good maps for that game, whether they be like campaign maps or survival maps.
Yeah, I remember seeing one that had an Easter egg as long as you brought the gnome with you, and it would survive.
Oh no, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but if you brought the gnome with you all the way to the end, you unlocked the portal room.
Yeah, that I kind of want to try that one again, but at the same time, it sounds very challenging to do unless I enabled SV cheats and spawned a gnome myself. I remember a friend bringing up that idea before, but I was like too dedicated to playing fair. Next time, I'm just gonna have no regrets. But yeah, it looks like we had finished yet another level, and I think that this would be a good time for me to say, like, where should people go if they want to keep up to date with what you do? Like, since you've usually appeared on that streams, would that be a good example?
I don't know.
I figured it. I figured it works since you do make a regular appearance on there. So I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess consider this a second shout out to twitch.tv/the Noodlemeister. You'll also appear on some of my streams as well, especially with that when FNAF is involved. Sometimes not just FNAF as well. Maybe if possible, I'll set up a stream of Black Ops 2 multiplayer as well. See how well that goes. We just gotta hope that there isn't a heated gamer moment.
Oops, I got banned.
And like, it doesn't result in her getting banned from the game, but it involves me getting banned from Twitch from her say. Yeah, I just wanted to say, Eric, thank you again for agreeing to do this.
Of course.
As for the rest of y'all, I'll see you very soon.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Sure, we'll end on that.